Kamar, thank you very much for joining Entrepreneur Middle East today. We're at the WE convention where the theme is all in, money, career, life. But in today's world, I find a lot of female pioneers and leaders coming out and saying, we don't really need to romanticize words like superwoman. We don't really need to have women prove that they can do everything all at once at the same time. In your perspective, from your perspective, in your own journey, what has success meant to you at different stages of your life, and how have you prioritized it?
Success in the beginning of my career. So when I started out, I was fresh out of university and trying to prove myself. So it was about doing everything, not saying no to anything that was thrown at me. And it was more like, doesn't matter if I have to do an all-nighter, I'm there, I'll get it done. Which is quite different than the way I see it today. Today is a mix of things. I would say it's about, especially when you take leadership positions, it's more about others. It's more about creating that environment for others to thrive. So it's more about the collective, right? So it's like, how do we collectively align on a goal and a vision and work towards it together? And for me to help them, so support the team so that they have all they need, all the understanding, all the knowledge to succeed as well, because their success is my success. So that's how I see the shift between the beginning of my career and today.
An interesting pattern I've seen in the interviews we've done so far is all the women who've made their way to the senior leadership positions mention the same thing that you did about mentorship and fostering support for other women and just generally other teams. So that's an interesting pattern I've seen. Next question is about, ambition and confidence. Now, ambition is sometimes looked upon as, it has negative connotations when women say we're ambitious. From your experience, how have you seen the correlation between confidence and ambition sort of change, or what has that been like for you?
Okay, so I think, as I was saying, I've been quite ambitious in my career. So it was about the next step. How can I get there? How can I get the next promotion, the next title, and prove myself that I could do it? And I think my mindset was I have to know everything. So it's about how can I, when I'm asked a question, I have to know the answer and be prepared to answer and be prepared that, that I get it right. But I think today that I think the kind of confidence I have is that as a leader, you don't need to know everything, right? And it's okay not to know everything, and it's normal. And I come back to how do we build a team so that we collectively have the answer? And when we, let's say I don't know the answer, my teammate would know the answer, and I would give them the lead to on this topic or this expertise that I might not know, and it's okay for me not to know. So as a leader, for me, what I care about is to have the right judgment call in a situation of crisis so that we can address it together.
Yeah. In your first answer, you mentioned about, the issue of not being able to say no. And that is, it's closely related to the idea of, having the right boundaries in place. A lot of women still believe that you need to have a certain level of emasculation when you work in male-dominated spaces. If you could just share your tips on how they can still sort of tap into their feminine energy while still being assertive in the workplace?
Actually, one of the most powerful women that I work with, that I look up to, has this incredible balance of empathy and discipline and rigor, right? So she would never compromise on delivering what is needed, and that competence level is so exemplary, I find. But she's also extremely empathetic. And I find us as women, we have that innate capacity. I know it's been said a lot, but it's so, I've lived it, right? When you're empathetic, for me, is that you're able to understand your surroundings and what people need around you. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to deliver, right? So it's how do I make sure that everyone is okay so that we can, we can succeed and make sure that we deliver what is asked of us. So it's not compromising on what you need to do, but making sure that everyone has, whether it's knowledge, whether it's the support system that they need, mentorship, all of that is part of it.
So many nuggets of wisdom. I wish we could carry this on for another hour. Thank you so much for joining us on Entrepreneur Middle
Thank you
East
for
today.
having
Thank
me.
you.
This has been a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you.